Terraria's cold biomes are a bit strange. Not only does Terraria have two frost-based events which have no connection to the biomes themselves, they introduced a boss from a crossover event 8 years after they added a mini-boss to the biome that spawns in the same way. If none of that made any sense whatsoever, well, that's what we're here to talk about today. First of all, let us define our terms. In a regular Terraria world, on the same side of the world as the dungeon and opposite the underground desert and jungle, there will be a snow biome. Underneath that will be an ice biome. The snow flinx is an enemy that perfectly encapsulates why this place is so weird. They were introduced in 2013 and 2022 changed the way that they spawn. The patch notes say, snow flinxes can now consistently spawn on ice and snow. Previously they were incapable of spawning on snow or ice under most conditions. So let's just double check the location biome which they live in. Ice biome, lovely. Now let's quickly check what blocks make up an ice biome. Let's see, it is composed mainly of snow blocks and ice blocks. Well, so Terraria added an enemy that can only spawn on certain blocks, but gave them conditions in a biome that is mainly composed of these certain blocks. And it took 9 years to change that. Very interesting stuff. And we haven't even talked about what makes the flinx yet. They have a knockback resistance of minus 10%, meaning they will get flung away from your attacks. If you are new to the game, then I believe that the ice biome is much safer than the underground jungle, and a lot of other places too. Why? A lack of enemy variety, and the fact that you can just fling a flinx away. Fling a flinx away, that'll be a shop that I own. Copyright 2025, you cannot forget that. Right, back to it. In terms of enemy variety, the snow biome is one of the least threatening places in the entire game. We are dealing with ice slimes on the day and frozen zombies at night. We'll get into deerclops and the hard mode versions later. In my desert video I talked about how the surface desert enemies were not particularly impressive, but could still provide a challenge to a new player, especially one without a consistent way of dealing ranged damage. The vulture capable of flight and pursuit over a long distance, and the antlion with a relatively powerful projectile. The snow biome just deals with at this phase. Reskins are some of the most common enemies in the entire game. Woo! The ice biome is more impressive, but not particularly spectacular with the enemy variety and damage they can perform. We've got the flinx that we can just bat out of the way. The undead Viking is just a zombie with better stats. We've got the rare cyan beetle. It can blend into the background slightly. Ooh. We can make a well-received but financially disappointing film out of it. The ice bat is annoying, sure, but it's not too different than the jungle bat or the standard one in caves. That leaves us with the spiked ice slime. Now this one is actually capable of doing real damage. It can shoot projectiles, but is hindered slightly by its slime AI, forcing it to keep bouncing, meaning it may struggle to actually get towards you. These factors of enemy variety and damage output, combined with the narrow loot pool from ice chests, as things like angel statues and the flare gun won't be part of it, mean the ice biome is something that you might as well tackle straight away because the enemies won't be too tough, and the treasures have more chance of being something you actually want compared to a standard cavern. The cold biome's never had a true boss for a lot of years. The ice biome was introduced in 1.2 in 2013, which also added a lot of snow-based enemies, including the rare hard mode exclusive ice golem that spawns in blizzards. If you watch a lot of Terraria on YouTube, then this complaint that I'm going to raise will be so randomly specific, and I don't think nobody else in the world would actually agree with me about this one. And I'm being serious. As I have said many times throughout my Terraria videos on the channel, this is a game from 2011 that still gets updates. Relogic did not have to do that, and we thank them for it. As part of them updating the game, they will redraw certain assets, improve the sprites. Ice golems being changed is one of those that I don't entirely agree with for this very specific reason. They look too good. They only spawn in blizzards, and their original sprite was exceedingly dark and hard to make out.
This monster is a freaking tank. Oh no, 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 no.
When I played Terraria hard mode for the first time about 2015-2016 time, I had no idea about ice golems. I was just in my favourite snowy environment, and then boom, I'm seeing this dark lumbering figure meander towards me. Their coloration makes them blend in the environment, and they can potentially take you by surprise. I was unnerved seeing them for the first time. The Journey's End update in 2020 made them too bright and detailed for my taste, ruined that element of surprise. Now you can make out the danger, they are less threatening. Let me know what you think about the Ice Golem redesign. The new one looks great, it's just less impactful in my view. And that brings us to Deerclops, the first actual icy boss in Terraria that actually is in the location that's icy. Sorry Ice Queen, Santa Robot and stuff, you are just part of an event, you're not actually part of this area. This sort of crossover I think is mutually beneficial for both sides. Don't Starve players can learn about Terraria, Terraria players can learn about Don't Starve. Win-win. I find it interesting, however, that they made deerclops naturally spawn at midnight in a blizzard, so basically overlaps with the ice golem if you come across those in hard mode. In other words, they waited years to add a true icy boss to the game in the icy actual area, and pretty much gave it similar spawning mechanics to a mini boss that's been there almost the whole time. Quite unique decision making, but hey, it's still content for free and it's good content. Relogic move in mysterious ways. Hopefully they'll move to add a desert boss like I outlined in my last video. Other icy enemies then. Right, so now specifically ones introduced in hard mode that are not the golem. Golem's had his chance to shine, literally now because his sprite's too bright, but anyway. I like the hard mode additions to the frosty places. At the surface at night, wolves will start spawning. Their sprite work makes it seem like they've got blood around their mouths from consuming the last meal, and their next one might certainly be you. They're incredibly fast and agile and use the unicorn's AI. We get ice elementals for a nice bit of variety and with this magic theme going on. In the caverns, in the icy places, we get a nice selection too. We've got a tortoise, very similar to the one in the jungle, and can inflict significant damage on you, and you underestimate them because they don't seem that fast until it's too late. Armoured Vikings are upgraded undead Vikings, and they do their own Viking stuff. And I guess if you were playing the game a few years ago, by this point, the flinx is probably a rare occurrence. We also get the Icy Merman, a competent enemy that does fire a projectile. Ice Mimics hold their own unique frost-themed loot, allowing you to get an edge at the start of hard mode if you take one down. My ideas for improving the frosty biomes would be as follows. Connect the events better to the actual biomes themselves. In the game you might be often attacked by a goblin invasion, and you can occasionally find a scout on the outer edge of the world. Defeating the scout can give you an item used to craft an item to summon the goblins themselves. Why not have one of the gangster snowmen's another variant of them as a rare enemy in the similar way in the frosty places? I would buff the undead Vikings, make them more of a threat. They have a design that makes it seem like they should be terrifying, but they need to be. Why not a new variant of the Ice Golem with the original colour scheme that can only be summoned by defeating 5 Ice Golems in a row, so you'd have to get a luckily long blizzard and do a lot of fighting to get there. Perhaps it could drop an item that complements Frost Cores to upgrade things. A true icy NPC would be nice. We've got Santa, but that's in a limited capacity. What if we had something ridiculous like a figure skater who for a small fee could boost all of your movement speed options? And who constantly speaks in icy jokes, referencing Mr. Freeze from everybody's favourite superhero film, Batman and Robin. I see a lot of potential with this. We don't want to get snowed under by all the great ideas now, do we though? How about avalanches? If there is a hill above a certain elevation, primarily made of ice or snow blocks, then during a blizzard, the outer bits of it could be flung your way and land on you the same way sand or something would. Don't leave me cold, let me know what you would like to change to the icy places in the game. It's not like we have to freeze up much space for ideas at all. It truly is no big deal to come up with these. The Icy Merman sprite was updated, but unlike the Ice Golem, I think it fits it better. More detailed, better outline, perfect. An idea I have for a future video is talking about the giant tortoises in detail. Where the ice biome has one, the jungle does too. Both of them take people by surprise. To do something for them like I did for the wyverns in their video too. That's where I'm thinking. If you have any great or terrifying memories of the icy places in Terraria, then please let me know. And finally, I know it's not the greatest thing in the world, but the thumbnail for this video I drew in Krita and I enjoyed doing it. Now the thing about meteor armor in Terraria is I always interpret it to be like Boba Fett's helmet with the shape of black where your eyes would be. But upon closer inspection of the meteorite armor's actual sprite work, you've got another outline around it which kind of reminds me of a sequel era Stormtrooper helmet. And when you get really zoomed in, you get this almost astronaut kind of circle thought in my head. You of course get my thoughts because you are psychic. If you are still watching at this stage, thank you very much. If I don't owe you money, then perhaps you could owe me something for your enjoyment of this video, perhaps. After all, we don't want YouTube to be a frosty sort of place. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. But seriously, I do like the flinx. Fun knockback, great walking animation, simple design that's effective at what it needs to do. And now it can actually spawn and do what it was meant to do the whole time. As I make this video, it's been announced that there will be an upcoming update to the ice biome. We're going to have a new enemy, lovely variety there. It's going to be a slime that glows in the dark and drops slush blocks. Something new, I guess. And it provides a source of them being renewable. In terms of stats and things, we'll have to see. This overall is a small but welcome addition to the ice biome. Now get on with the desert too, Relogic. Don't make me make another video about it. Or these cold biomes for that matter either. Thank you very much for watching, good day and goodbye.